Hey guys, Camfrey15 back at it with another video for you guys. I'm back with another Danmachi episode review for you guys as we are continuing on with Danmachi, man. Listen, man, dog, this show is crazy. This this show is getting a lot more crazier than I thought it would be, man. And it's absolutely funny, man. It's absolutely hilarious. Like, there were some people or some reviewers I checked out, not all, but some people who reviewed last week's episode, and they were completely like, oh my goodness, here we go again. Here's the stupid, oh, I'm gonna control the whole city plot line thing and make the main character forget, or make the people who know the main character forget everybody, which subdues everything. Um, Legitimately, there was a few. There wasn't. It wasn't everybody. There was a good few people, or not a good few people. There were a few people that legitimately hated the fact of this storyline of the way they were taking it in terms of everybody forgetting about Belle and everything. And I've already watched one of the reviewers actually be like, okay, I take back what I said about the storyline and it being a repetitive trope again. Yeah, I'm like, this is what I'm talking about when it comes to reviews. Like, people only review shows on a week to week basis instead of just letting it see how the whole season plays out. I'm not saying you can't hate a certain story point in a certain episode at a certain point in time. Everybody is entitled to their own opinion, but this is why if it's a repetitive trope, you don't judge a book by its cover. Just because it's a repetitive trope doesn't mean they can't make things different. And Danmachi clearly made things different with this trope here. And man, I don't know, but I think my prediction potentially could be coming true. Um, it could be coming true about Bell eventually breaking to the point he just becomes a submissive, I guess you could say, toy to Freya, or thing to Freya, because holy hell, man, this episode, geez Louise, man, if Hestia better do something fast because slowly but surely Belle is going to break and it's not going to be good. Because Freya's making her move, and even if it's at the behest of this man's mental state, she's gonna do whatever she can to get him to fall for her. Um, so yeah, now the episode really starts off with the fact that, like, I guess one of the Freya Familia's healers is like, look, you just been cursed. So they play it off like this man's been cursed this entire time, and it's not like a dream or anything he's been in. It's just the fact that he's been cursed to, like, oh, you have a curse of envisioning yourself in this whole thing, and then that's what happened. But this was all essentially a curse and everything. Ooh, sorry guys. Tired, late. But anyways, you get that whole scene and everything, and it's just like, oh my goodness. And then you also see like the freaking stuff the Freya Familia does to each other. Like, legitimately, their training is legitimately fighting to the death. Like, legitimately, Belle's going up against this one Freya Familia member, and legitimately he jumps back into somebody, and this person's got like a freaking, it has been already slashed and is like essentially bleeding out. Like, these people ain't no jokes. I'm just like, okay, now it makes sense why they the strongest familia in all the land, because it's like, okay, we about to see who the toughest the tough is, right? And we're gonna go crazy. And Bell legitimately like outlasts everybody until he has to go up against some of the upper rank Freya Familia members to the point he basically almost dies. And if it wasn't for freaking the healer girl showing up, like, Belle would have died right then and there. And she's like, all right, enough is enough. No more. He's exhausted. Let's do this. But, you know, honestly, I think this can give Belle some benefits, even though it is kind of like an abusive, like, training style. But, like, this can get him to get stronger. So, obviously, him training with the Freya Familia members, it will, I believe, get him stronger than he already is. Um, but you know, and then also too, you kind of do see it on his stats boosting, which let me get to this scene, man. Let me get to this scene. So, listen, man. Freya is legitimately breaking this man's confidence and this man's will down one by one, piece by piece, just to get her to, or get him to submit to her. And listen, if you haven't seen my previous videos of Danmachi, especially this season, I have been a massive simp for Freya. If I was in the Danmachi world and if I was in Belle's shoes, I'm sorry Hestia, I'm sorry Ryu, I'm sorry all these other girls, I'm sorry Ice Wallenstein, I'm sorry. I would legitimately be like, no, my alliance is to Freya, and I would legitimately be like, can I still be in the Hestia Familia, but can I be yours? But anyways, that's besides the point. As you can clearly tell, I simp for Freya, but even though I simp for Freya, I ain't gonna lie, bro. She is one crazy bitch, bro. She is one crazy bitch. Like, my goodness, man. The fact that I knew she was going to do some effed up stuff when in episode 4, she basically announced that she's going to make Belle hers and it's time to go on the offensive. She's going absolutely crazy. And you just have to think about it, man. You just have to think. Her being tame and her being normal was legitimately just like, I'm gonna pretend to be this like cafe girl and I'm gonna try to get him to fall for me. That didn't work. And then she's like, all right, now I'm done playing nice. I'm done being the nice little cute girl next door type of thing. That shit didn't work. It's time to be aggressive now. And you see what she did last week, where she was basically threatening Hestia and her Familia members of like, listen, if you don't hand Belle over right now, I'm going to either kill you or your Familia members. Now, personally, if you ask me, I'm still of the opinion, if she really desperately wants Belle, you kill Hestia right then and there. Hestia goes back up to heaven. The Familia has to disband, essentially, because that's what happened with Ryu. Her what is it, her Familia ended up getting all killed and everything, and guess what, her Familia basically, well, it didn't disband because she was like the last one left alive, but you get my point. There's no more of that Familia. She's like all alone now. Like, legitimately, if you just kill Belle right then and there, or not kill Belle, kill Hestia, and honestly to God, if you just kill the others, you could have Belle all to yourself and you could just say, oh, well, they died in a tragic accident or something like that. I don't know. She could have framed it some sort of way. And that could have been, okay, look, join the Freya Familia. I'll take good care of you. There you go. Now, maybe she was just being nice. She was just gonna be courteous, like, of saying, like, I ain't gonna do nothing to you as long as you give me Belle. And legitimately, like, until Hermes showed up and was like, all right, yeah, you gotta wait like a whole year before you can convert him over. And then you think, okay, maybe she's just gonna take him and she's just gonna be nice. No, 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 no. She basically takes control of the whole city of Arario. And that's how crazy and desperate she is for Belle. Like, legitimately, that crazy. She goes from being girl next door to like, all right, I'm done. The gloves are coming off. You know the ending where she's putting on all her stuff on, her clothes on and everything, or her undergarments on. No, she taking all that shit off, and she like, no, my mind and my body, my soul is gonna be all for Belle. She putting it all on the line. The fact that this woman, legitimately. God, she looked up his stats and she used like this thing she got from the dungeon due to her Familia to basically be able to access that, or to see Belle's stats, and at the same time make the scar on his back change from the Hestia Familia to her Familia, or like it's like kind of like an illusion to him. And legitimately he looks he can tell like, oh, she's serious about this. And then he looks back, and then after she's done and everything, and she's like, "Oh, it seems like your vitality went up, obviously because it's probably due to training." Um, and then he goes to the mirror and he looks at his back and he sees her Familia logo on due to the thing she put on his back. And legitimately, this man is like, "Ah," he almost damn near passes out because it's like, holy shit, she's telling the truth. I am a part of the Familia. And then when I tell you, this girl, this woman, this is the sign of a crazy bitch. Listen, I'm just not saying crazy woman. I'm saying crazy bitch. She legitimately gives one of the most disturbing, most evilest looks an antagonist could give. And she's just giving this evil, just insane, crazy girl look, yandere look of, and then she just literally says in her head to herself, "I broke him." Yo, no, no, no. When she made that face and then she said, "I broke him," I'm like, my suspicions, my predictions were true. She's going to break this man's mind and his brain, and he's gonna make it. And she continues, and she says like later in the episode, like as he leaves, like he's gonna make the men. She makes literally mention, I'm like, "I'm gonna break you down one by one until like you'll just come to me, and then I'll be there to comfort you and be there for you." Like, I'm just like, this girl is insane. She's literally gonna tear this man's mental state apart just so she can get this dude to love her. Now, if anything you can say is about Freya, actually, like, her love for Belle is like not even real. No, it's legitimately real. She, like, if you see at the end of the episode where she's acting like a typical girl that we see in some of these other romance shows that gets flustered and everything, and she's just like, "Oh, he blushed and he ran. No other guy has done this with me. Not even the gods have done this to me." And you see her acting on the bed, and she kind of acts like Seer in a weird way. It's just like, okay, she loves him. It's clear. 100% Freya does love Belle romantically. Obviously, Bella does not reciprocate his feelings for Freya, but you can tell, okay, she genuinely loves him. That's fine. Her approach to get him to fall in love with her is absolutely insane. It's absolutely insane. You're gonna basically fuck with this guy's mind, and you're gonna basically turn this dude's brain into mush to where he ends up becoming a loyal servant to you, and he'll probably do whatever you say, which again, that's my prediction. I just saw the poster and everything. Again, maybe the poster might be misleading, but the fact, the way the Belle looks in the season 5 poster, it legitimately looks like, okay, he's at his mind broken state. He's only serving Freya, and Freya's basically got him by the puppet strings, right? Now, I did see the 2 reviewers talk about that I reviewed of this episode. They made a mention like, well, what if Freya actually breaks Belle to the point he's like, his character's broken, and you know, his mind's broken, he's a self-servient person, he's not the Belle we all know, right? They posed the question like, is Belle going to be the same exact Belle that she fell in love with? Could she potentially fall out of love with that Belle, you know, the one that's mind broken and basically self-servient to her, instead of being the Belle that we've known for the past 4 seasons, right? Because that's the one thing we know about Freya. She obviously, she likes the strong points about Belle and the warrior that he is. But the thing that, like, even at the end of the episode, what she finds cute is his innocence and the fact that he gets flustered very easily. That, like, that attracts him. That's what makes him or her like him, because she thinks that's cute to her. And just take away that stuff away, and he's just like, "Hello, Lady Freya, I'm ready to do what you need me to do," right? Who's to say Freya might be disgusted with that, and it's like, "No, act like the Belle that I've known." And he's gonna be like, "What are you talking about? I'm the Belle, I'm the same Belle you've always had, right?" And it might not be that bad, and that's the thing. And maybe that could end up being a storyline. Now, I still do believe Hestia will find a way to get everybody back and out of the whole thing, and I'll talk about that in a second about the whole control stuff. Um, but it would be an interesting thing where actually, what if Hestia and company try to save Belle, they fail, but guess what? At the end, Freya's sick and tired of this Belle, and she's like, "You're not the Belle I fell in love with." And maybe she just reverses everything and then just tells Belle, "Listen, I messed with you. I'm sorry." I don't think she would say that realistically, but maybe it could. She could. Maybe because just strictly like I said, maybe if she breaks him so bad, the point he's just like basically, I guess you could say a robot essentially, and she doesn't like it. Maybe she reverses everything and she gets him back to being normal, and maybe she apologizes and maybe she just tells Hestia, from this point on, I won't mess with Belle anymore. Um, but who knows? Who knows? I really do have a feeling like if they're gonna go the route of them saving Belle, I do have a sneaking suspicion that Freya potentially could die and go back to heaven and everything, and that would just be the consequence of her actions. I really hope not, because like I do love her character. And it would be funny just to have that character just be from a distance, but it would only make sense because you want to be able to keep this crazy girl around Arario, and especially the fact that she loves Belle like crazy. But you see that, and it's just like, okay, yeah. And then she's like, "Listen, you can come to me after you're done training, and you can come talk to me and tell me about yourself, about this other version of yourself, right?" And that's when things go from craziness, right? So again, also, I forgot to mention, Horn is not dead. She is still alive. Horn is not dead. So we thought Horn was dead. No, she's still alive. And basically her punishment is, okay, you just can't be around Belle no more because I know you tried to kill him. So that's kind of it. Freya's not like ultimately like too mad. Even Horn was like, "You're not gonna punish me like heavily." And Freya's just like, "Why should I punish you? Your punishment is you can't be near Belle Cornell. That's it." Like legitimately that's it. So that's the thing. But Horn's still alive, so does she play a factor in the future? Who knows? Maybe she gets to the point where maybe she's sick and tired of Freya always, or Belle always being around Frey, and she's just like, "No, that's my goddess. Everything, she's important to me." And maybe she just finds a way to help out Hestia. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But the instance of characters breaking her spell. One, you have it to where Aranos, guy in the chair, he's not entranced by her. And she actually walks down with her big, I guess, D energy. And she's like, "Oh, I figure you're not under my trance." Well, whatever. She basically makes a proclamation. She's like, "Look, I don't want you getting involved in this situation and everything." And Aranos is like, I should do something about it, but I can't really do something about it. So you're free. You're able to do as you please. As much as I disagree with it, but whatever. It's you, and I don't like the actions that you took to do this, but I can't do nothing. And the reason why you can't do nothing is because it's not only that she entranced even the human characters or any of the characters in town. She's even entranced people that are within the dungeon as well. Like even we see Fells. Aranos' like right hand person or right hand attendant is basically under trance, and Aranos tells Fells like, "Yeah, listen, if I tried to or do something to Freya and try to defeat her, well, you would probably just get involved because you're under a trance and you'd be trying to protect her." So it seems like if you were to like lash out at Freya or something, these characters that are in her basically control would basically protect her. So that's the thing. And speaking of the trance, we have it to where Ina's just, because we saw Ina in the last episode, she's just wondering like the whole thing about Belle and everything, and she can't find his logbook, or anything or any information about him, right? Now one of the attendants is like, "Well, that's because the Freya Familia keeps things to themselves and stuff like that. That's how they operate." But then she's moving some papers around, she bumps, and then she finds Belle's logbook. And she starts to read Belle's logbook, and then it's the trance she's in from Freya starts to actually break, and she's actually starting to remember some things and putting things back together, right? And then lo and behold, Freya just shows up behind her and is like, "All right, I'm gonna take that logbook from you. Um, also, too, I'm gonna freaking use my abilities to control you again. It's gonna be even stronger. And guess what? You're just gonna act like nothing happened." So it seems like legitimately Freya can more than likely knows when somebody is probably broken off her control and should just instantly be there right then and there. Like as if she's using instant transmission. It's absolutely crazy, man. Now, Hestia did run into Hermes, and she did see Hermes' eyes light up purple, or pink, I guess you can say. And she remembers, like, just give this to me at the right time. So it's really this puts Hestia in a tough situation. Now she doesn't know this, but it's like if that is to be believed, that if people start to break the trance of being controlled by Frey and she just shows up, Hestia's gonna have to legitimately be careful in terms of like telling somebody and then giving, especially Hermes, the paper, because I guarantee it's got to be a paper that tells him like, hey, you're being controlled by Freya. Belle Cornell actually is in her clutches and blah 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 blah. You need to do this. Hestia is like the only one that's not entranced. So legitimately, I legitimately believe that Hestia's got to be very careful when it comes to giving it. So it's not the right time because again, we don't know if that's the case for anything. If we see it again, like in the next episode, where maybe like somebody tries to remember Belle, and then Freya shows up, and then okay, then that just only means like okay, she can easily tell. It will make sense because it's her ability. So it's gonna be interesting. And if Freya and Hestia makes the wrong move and tries to get Hermes to get back to normal, Freya could be right then and there, and then boom, be like, I knew you were still there. So Hestia's got to be very careful. Trying to think. Oh, you have that moment. So Freya actually, as I like end the episode review, she takes the logbook and she basically read the logbook, and basically Belle's telling her everything about to happen, and then, you know, he wants to find you see it to where Belle's trying to be like, okay, this still can't be real. This still can't be real. The fact like this that I'm in her familia. There's no way. I have all these memories of being with Hestia and everything, and then he starts to be like, tell her like, okay, you know, how did I become this level, level 2, level 3, and level 4, and things like that. And because she read the logbook ahead of time, she's basically saying word for word what happened, but in her own vision, right? And he's just like, how did you know that and everything? She's like, Belle, I've always been around you and everything. Like, legitimately, like, she even fabricates how she first met, because he brought the fact, like, how him and got his head, and how Hestia met. And she fabricates the fact, like, oh, yeah, you were like a gravesite or whatever, paying your respects to somebody you knew. And then I was there and I came across you. And then I fell in love at first sight. And then you asked me, you know, if I could join your familia, or if I could join your familia, and I graciously accepted you. And it's just like, bro, she is absolutely going crazy. She's doing these crazy things to this dude. And to cap it off, it's like you get your little fan servicey scene also too. I'm like, just do when he would do the whole thing where it's like he goes into her like room or whatever, and what is it, just they're just having these sit down conversations. I just look at the outfit she's wearing, I'm like, bro. Freya's making it so obvious that she wants Belle to catch a hint and just be like, I want you to freaking just do it with me, right? She's wearing this very revealing outfit where her like boobs are all out and everything. And again, obviously her main outfit is very seductive, but like legitimately, I'm watching the scenes, I'm like, bro, she knows what she's doing. She's wearing this evening gown in effort to get him to basically like sleep with her, right? And she even does offer like, hey, do you want to sleep together tonight? And he ends up running out of there because he's like, no, I can't do that. Are you crazy? And I'm just like, bro, how are you turning that down, bro? It's gonna be crazy, man. It's gonna be crazy. Again, if you didn't see the episode and you saw my thumbnail where you see a shirtless Belle and then she's hugging right behind him. If you don't know, again, if you haven't seen the episode, you of course people didn't want to understand the context. You would think like, oh, they must have got it on or they're about to get it on, right? But legitimately, that was the one thing I was taking away from these. It seems like she's wearing this very revealing evening gown in efforts to try to get him to like probably do something with her, right? And legitimately, it gets to the point where it looks like, she might kiss him or something, and then what is it? She ends up like, actually, could you actually remove my gown or something for me? I think I need to get something, right? And then this man fell under the pressure. He starts removing like the piece by piece. I'm like, no, no. I'm like, no, dog, no way we're getting. We're not gonna see it, but it's like no way we're gonna get to the point where she's gonna force herself on Belle and they're just gonna get it on. There's no way. This man gets so damn flustered, right? And then he just runs out of there, and then she starts giggling like a little girl, acting like as if she's honestly seer, right? And technically, Freya and Belle have already slept with each other in bed together. That was back on the date when they went to the freaking the little freaking hotel room or whatever, and they slept in the same bed. So technically, Belle has slept with Freya. So I guess I can't really be mad. But maybe this time Freya was trying to get him to sleep with the actual Freya, not her pretending to be the girl next door type of character. But anyways, regardless, this dog, I don't know where the next episode goes, bro. She's gonna continue to break this man. I wonder if next week will be the breaking point episode because we're basically at the halfway point. There's 12 episodes of the season yet, unless there's gonna be a core 2. I think it's only a 1 core, but if there's a second core to this, I don't know. Maybe we'll see. I didn't see on live chart if there's 24 episodes. Because looking at the previous seasons, season 4 was the longest season by far because the other seasons were around 13, 14 episodes. Season 1 was 13 episodes, season 2 was 14, season 3 was 13, and then season 4 jumped up to 23 episodes. So it was a whole 2 core. So, and right now they're listing season 5 is only 12 episodes on High Dive. But who knows? I'll be shocked if they finish this entire arc up in like 12 episodes, but who knows? Who knows? I feel like they probably can, so we'll definitely see. We will definitely see. But dog, as much as I love Freya, I have to admit, she's a crazy bitch. And legitimately, when you're dealing with crazy women that want something, they will stop at nothing to get what they want. It's gonna be interesting to see. It's definitely gonna be interesting to see what happens in next week's episode. My goodness, man. Can they just give me all the episodes so I can just binge it and see what happens? But I gotta wait on a week-to-week basis, man. And I need to go back and watch the back half of season 4 in English dub, so then I can prepare to watch this in the English dub for season 5, which season 5 English dub has been confirmed. It's gonna be coming out on High Dive on November 13th. So that is next Wednesday. So there's that. But anyways, I'm gonna get out for you guys. If you guys like the video, leave a like, put in the comment section your thoughts on this week's episode of Danmachi. Your thoughts on Freya, anything else, and then hit the subscribe button if you want to get more Danmachi content or any other anime content I upload to the channel. Till then, guys, stay safe out there and have a great rest of your day, night, or channel this video. Till then, guys, peace.